Hey y'all. This controller came with a secondhand GameCube I bought, and as you can see, one of the sticks is a bit messed up. So today I'm giving it a bit of a refurbish. I'll deep clean the internals, wash the shell and buttons, and rebuild it into a new semi-transparent shell. I've got a bunch of spare components in case I need to swap anything out, or if I want to make it feel a bit more custom. I won't be getting rid of any of the old parts except for maybe the busted stick if I can't restore it. All I need for this project is the new shell and replacement components, a screwdriver, with both a tri-point and a Phillips head, a tub of warm soapy water, some way to dry the parts, some isopropyl alcohol, and some cotton swabs. To get started, I'm removing the tri-point screws and gently opening the controller shell. Next, I'll remove the conductive membranes from behind the buttons, being sure not to stretch or otherwise damage them. The Z button has a little metal spring clip, but my replacement part doesn't. The replacement also feels a lot cheaper than the original, so I'm definitely going to reuse the old one once it's clean. Into the bath go all the buttons and the D-pad. Looks like the D-pad membrane was stuck to the controller PCB, so I'll move that now. Next I'll remove the sticks. They just pop off with a light tug. They're both pretty grimy, so into the bath with them. I should be able to replace the thumbstick cap with something down the line, so I will end up keeping it for now. Next I'll pop out the PCB and set it aside to access the L and R buttons. They're held in place with Phillips head screws, so I'll remove those and the plastic cover that keeps them in place. Into the bath it all goes. To remove the bottom piece, I have to detach the little clip holding it in place and angle it as I pull it out. I'll keep this part with the spring aside as it's clean and in good shape, and I'm going to reuse it as is. I'll throw the R button in the bath too. Next, I'm just repeating those steps with the L button. Again, setting aside the spring part for reuse. The L button and the rest of the shell are going into the bath as well. Now to clean the PCB, I'm going to use 99% isopropyl alcohol and pour some into a small dish. Then I'll use these cotton-tipped swabs to soak up a bit of the alcohol and use it to clean around the stick and the rest of the PCB, being careful not to go over any graphite sections to ensure I don't accidentally rub it off or scratch up the pads. After taking care of both sticks and a quick once-over on the PCB, I am ready to transfer everything into the new shell. After a quick quality check of the aftermarket buttons, I'm really not happy with them, so I'm going to use the original OEM buttons that I pulled out and washed. I've set them aside to dry between takes and now they're ready to reinstall. Moving everything to the new shell is done in the reverse order of taking things out of the old shell. First I'll start with the shoulder buttons. The little spring mechanism needs to be clipped into the bottom of the L button, then the entire assembly can be placed into the controller shell. I'll do the same thing with the R button. Oh, and because I didn't call it out before, there are membranes in the bottom of the spring assembly. Those are used to actually press the digital part of the shoulder buttons. The analog part is controlled by those little tabs that slide down with the buttons. With those in, I need to put the covers back in that hold them in place. They slot in over the top posts, so it's just a bit of finagling to get them to seat, and then I can screw them in. Next up is putting the PCB back in. The cord has a little loop for strain relief that should sit at the top of the PCB, kind of off to the right. If it's not in the right place, it's really annoying to put back together. I'm also being careful to ensure the L and R slider pins are sitting inside the little sliding holes in the buttons to ensure that the analog parts of the trigger still work. With that feeling good, I'll move on to installing the rest of the buttons. This is not how you want to install the membranes for assembly, I just want to get a sense of what it's going to look like. Actually, before I get the buttons on, let's look at the new sticks I bought that match the shell. I actually bought quite a few different colors, but I think these purple ones look the best. The sticks are keyed, so they only go in one way. Just line up the hole in the back with the notch on the stick and press down. I'll do the same thing with the C-stick. Now back to the buttons. I'll make sure to add the start button membrane and then slide the Z button back in place. Then I'm lining up the buttons to get a sneak peek of the finished look. Nice. Okay, now to actually assemble it. The easiest way is to throw the buttons into the front half of the shell. All the buttons are keyed so they'll sit properly with the label upright. Once they're in, I add the membrane and ensure any of the little alignment posts are in the right place to help hold it all together. Next up are the D-pad and then the start button. Finally, I'll line the shell up and close it, making sure the Z button is in place with its spring clip pressing against the PCB, not loose in the air. And the cord has to be sticking out through the little hole in the top. I'll snap it shut, then screw it all together. With that done, a quick check to see how it feels, and there we have it. Pretty nice looking upgrade in my opinion. Now to test it out and make sure I didn't break anything. I don't have a controller tester handy, so I'll just run through a few games. I know Super Mario Sunshine uses the analog shoulder buttons along with just about everything else, so I'll start there. Things are working well, but I just realized I can't test the analog slide on the left shoulder or the D-pad. So I'm going to load up Super Smash Melee and test the shoulders. You can see by the different types of shields that it's working great. Finally, I'll drop into Soul Calibur 2 to test out the D-pad since I can use it instead of the joystick to move around. That and the C-stick are working nicely. With that done, I've now got more than enough controllers for multiplayer games. Thanks for watching, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next one.